Hey guys, Spray and Pray here, and welcome to another Airsoft video. Today we're going to be talking about the Ares M110. This is going to be sort of a review, sort of a gameplay video. I'm going to splice both me talking about the rifle and actual gameplay video of me using the rifle in together in this video, sort of in like a nothing fancy slash, level cap type review. So on what I'm going to mainly focus on here is just upgrades that I've done to the rifle. So, because there's a million videos already about this rifle, the Ares M110, if you didn't see the title, that you can go and see, and they'll give you a general overview of all the stock parts. But I think what's more important is I'm going to talk about some of the upgrades that I did, why I did them, and also some of the weirder quirks about the rifle that you should know definitely before you purchase one that I don't think other people have highlighted as much as they should. Now, the first thing that I changed, obviously, was the flash hider. It is a clockwise threaded flash hider adapter up here. So most airsoft guns, as I'm sure you know, are counterclockwise. That's a big thing that you need to know. This is actually clockwise threaded, and surprisingly, I thought it's impossible to accidentally thread a counterclockwise threaded suppressor or flash hider on here, and that is not the case, because I was actually able to get one about halfway on, and I was like, wait, there's something wrong here, because it was like all canted and stuff. And so yeah, definitely make sure it is clockwise thread. I'll even double check here. Yeah, so righty tighty, lefty loosey, guys. Just big heads up right there. The next thing down here is the suppressor mount. So I have the suppressor right here. So this thing is actually a little bit dangerous. So as you can see on there, I've chipped the end of the suppressor. That's because if you don't get a longer inner barrel along with the suppressor, sometimes the BBs, especially if you have a lot of hop on them, of course, will hit the outer barrel of your suppressor. So you'll probably want to either round this out to make more room for BBs to come out, or get a longer inner barrel, which is what I did for, I don't run the suppressor just because it's ridiculous and super long, but when I did try to do it, as you can see kind of in the video, I got a inner barrel that was about this long. So I'll put this on there and I'll show you. It gets quite a bit longer, even though it does cover the outer barrel a little bit. I think I had my barrel coming to about here, and it didn't hit at all after that. So just get, I think it was like a 600 millimeter, or not 600, maybe like 650 or something ridiculous like that, because this is a really long rifle, and as you can see with that suppressor, it's kind of hard to get around corners sometimes. The next upgrade I have on here is obviously the optic. This is a real steel Vortex tactical scope, and there are two reasons why I would waste this much money on an airsoft gun scope. Number one, the discount I got was pretty good because I got it through my company. I work for Best Buy, and there's some websites that we get to go on because we're retail, I guess, employees. I'm a Geek Squad agent, but whatever, I still qualify. So I got this for a pretty good price. I think it was like half off. So that was the first reason. Second reason is, normally the airsoft scopes are, they don't have to be super durable. There's no recoil or anything to worry about, jarring them or shaking them. And so getting a real steel scope for durability purposes is not really that important unless you're like throwing it on the ground. In which case, the scope, even if it's real steel, probably doesn't like getting thrown on the ground either. But what is really nice about real steel scopes is the eye relief. Now, this is a 3:9 magnification scope, and look at this, guys. This here, I can still see perfectly. I can choke up on it all the way to here. There's no problem from this distance and back. It's honestly amazing. This is why you buy a real steel scope for airsoft, because the eye relief is freaking awesome. And it's really just because, on the higher caliber rifles, the recoil, if you have your eye right here and you shoot a real gun, you're going to get a black eye. So that's why they have to have such nice long eye reliefs, which is super cool. And if you guys are going to get serious and buy an expensive airsoft sniper or DMR, then you probably want to get a nice scope where you're going to be able to comfortably aim down it, which, this right here, guys, is just amazing compared to some where you just have to find, like, there's only this one magic spot where I can hold this and see anything at all. The next upgrade that I've put on here is a Magpul kit, I guess, for the trigger and the grip here. Definitely the trigger guard I would do. You don't have to do this, the actual pistol grip itself, but the trigger guard, the Magpul one, fills in this little gap here, which is super annoying. I'm sure if you have an M4, you know that this digs into your hand, and even if you have gloves on, it still gets annoying at the end of the day. But the Magpul one fills that in. That's fantastic. Go Magpul, I love it. The MOE grip is just the most comfortable for me, so that's why I got it, but you can run any grip you want, like a big-ass sniper grip or, you know, just the stock ones. They're all fine. There was no reason really to change except for that number one. Like I said, it's comfortable, and I think it looks cool. The last upgrade that I did to it was I added the UBR stock to this. Now, this is a real steel UBR stock because the threads for the buffer tube are real steel spec. So unfortunately, you do have to shell out for the real one. I first, of course, got an Airsoft one for like $100 and tried it out, and obviously it didn't work because it's mil spec, like I said. And so I ended up having to spend, you know, 3 times that for an actual real one because, I mean, I put together and I fell in love with how it looked. So I just had to get one. And, you know, whenever I get an AR-15 or something for real, I guess I can swap this on there when I want to. And that's really cool to me. So if you guys are going to be replacing the stock, just know that it is a military style thing. Number one reason why I wanted to replace the stock, besides the looks, and obviously it's really nice quality, was I wanted something that could be shorter, because the full stock that it came with was really, really long. So what ended up happening was when I was going around corners, I would have to hold it like this on the outside of my shoulder just so that I could barely get it around the corner because it was just so long with that full stock. But with this, you know, I'm able to come in and I can, you know, shorten it down and get real close up on it, and corners are all slightly easier. You know, you're still going to have issues because you got this Gigantor barrel here, but it's really cool, and those are the upgrades that I did. If you have any questions about which parts I used or what I had to do, just let me know in the comments. There were actually a couple things I had to change with the wiring here. Instead of having it come out the bottom into the stock, it had to go into the buffer tube. That was pretty easy. You just take the gearbox out and move the wires, no problem. The gearbox is a standard version 2 gearbox. However, it does use a proprietary hop-up. It's a little bit different shaped. You could probably jam like a Pro-In or something in there if you wanted to, but honestly the hop is pretty nice, and I don't know why you would want to. It's a rotary style, which I think is probably the best, like the one where you turns like this. They do use special magazines, so you cannot buy the regular SR25 mags. As you can see, it's way far back, basically because they're using an M4 designed gearbox. And it makes a very satisfying noise when it's closed. Last thing I want to point out is what I've done to the scope here. I got a Lexan shield in the front, or in the back and the front, so just don't freak out. You know, a lot of people in the field, they always ask me, they're like, why are you protecting this? This is where you're going to get shot. And I'm like, no, if you look close, there's a shield in there, as well as this one in the back. I just didn't cut one for the back because I'm a lazy bastard. All in all, it's a great rifle, and thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Spray and pray out.
Same team? Same team, but hit.
Alright, so if you guys have stayed this long in the video, then you probably like what you saw. And if you like what you saw, then you can support me by buying an awesome t-shirt that says Spray and Pray and advertises for me. And you'll be super freaking awesome if you buy one, preferably 100, one for you and all of your family and friends and, you know, neighbors and all that.